Okay, so I was talking about my unfortunate experiences with Dana Brownfield. Now just to sort of like give you the full creepiness of the situation I was in. Uh, I was trying very hard. I tried very hard several times to try to get someplace else to live because living with Dana, aside from the fact, that she was very rarely home, it wasn't really such a good deal because I was paying about $400 a month rent, but I didn't have a bathroom down there, and I didn't have cooking facilities. If I wanted to use the bathroom, I had to go upstairs, which wasn't so bad during the daytime. Nighttime when she was home and stuff, and in bed, because the bathroom, I had to walk through her bedroom to get to the bathroom. So it was an inconvenience. So I was like looking for other places to live. And I'll tell you, I didn't have any luck finding any place. I never had such a hard time finding a place before in my entire life. I don't know. I told myself, well, maybe it's and maybe it's because I'm older than I was last time I was up. Because last time I lived up in the Bay Area, I was like in my 20s, and the Bay Area, the colleges and all that. And there's a very large population of young people, but it's not like I was like not like I was such an old cranker or something like that. I shouldn't have had that hard of a time, but I couldn't find any place else to live. I'd go, interview for places, see everything seemed to go great, seemed to get along with everybody. Never got any callbacks, so I was pretty much stuck living at Dana's place, just sitting there, with my neck on the chopping block, just basically waiting for her to do her dirty work and send me out into the cold, cruel world with no place to go. So yeah, I was trying to, and the heat, there was like no heat, so it got freezing there in the winter. And the only way I could get any heat, uh, I would like turn on. I had a toaster oven. I'd turn the toaster oven on and leave the door open, and that warmed up the place pretty good. That was the only way I can get it warmed up down there. So I was trying to get other places to live, but I wasn't having any luck, and I was stuck living down there. And there was, like I said, there was an awful lot of strange things that started happening, especially like near the end before she kicked me out. One thing I noticed, like I'd always like notice things disappearing from my room. Like some like, videotapes, journals, sketchbooks, kinds of personal items, and sometimes I'd find them upstairs in Dana's living room or bedroom. Of course, she always had some like excuse, like, "Oh, look interesting," or whatever. I just want to look at it or whatever. Uh, but I always thought that the explanations were kind of suspect and didn't sound very convincing. But considering my situation, living under her roof without any kind of legal contract or anything, because I don't think legally she was allowed to rent that place out because it wasn't really fit for human habitation. So I didn't really want to press my luck and find myself kicked out, nowhere to go, which as you know happened anyway.
Would you like to tell the key story?
Well, okay. Well, I had a key. I had a strong box where I kept my valuables in, and I had a couple keys for it, and I had one key I kept on my key ring, and then another key I took out a piece of polymer clay, and I just put it inside the clay, squished it up, and just like stuck it in a drawer. I figured like who's gonna go looking for that key there, but after I lost it, the key fell off my key ring one time, and then I went to get the backup key in the polymer clay, and it was gone. And I'm like, well, how did anyone know to look in the polymer clay, and why would anyone steal my key in the first place? What I think, well, I think that the surveillance wasn't only like audio surveillance, but I think it was video surveillance based on a few other things I noticed. As a matter of fact, when she kicked me out of her place, one of the things she did was she stole my driver's license out of my wallet. I guess she must have did it when I was asleep or something like that. Because after she kicked me out, I was driving around and I got pulled over by the police and I didn't have my driver's license, which would have been a very unpleasant situation because they probably would have towed my car and taken me to the police station. But fortunately, I had my old driver's license. I never threw it away. And they were able to like look at the old driver's license and just radio it back, and they knew I renewed it, and they could get all my information off that. So I was never had my card towed for that, or had to be put in jail while they figured out who I was. So yeah, things were disappearing. Now this is where we get into like some of the getting stuff is getting weirder. Dana was spying on my computer and internet activity. One time she sent me from work, she sent me like some email, and it had an attachment about some news article that didn't have anything to do with anything. And I opened the attachment, looked at it, and like I even like wrote it back and said like, well, why are you sending me this? And she never responded to it. But after I opened that email, I noticed that she had like remote control of my computer. She was like deleting files off my computer and stuff, and going through my computer files. And one time, I even like, this is like later on, like right around the time she was kicking me out, she was upstairs with some friend of hers, and they were reading my personal emails out loud. Okay, that's creepy enough that she was reading my personal emails, but it's like, why was she reading out loud? Would she know I'd hear it? I mean, like this, along with like repeating back things that I said when I was alone to me. I mean, it's like her kind of like way of like taunting me, I suppose. So yes, she was spying on my internet, so she knew all my emails, and so I all my communications were being read by her. So I really think that she was like using this ability of hers to like kind of trip me up, and maybe this is part of the reason why I wasn't able to find any other place to live, and I wasn't having any luck getting a better job or anything like that.
Do you want to tell the story about the cursor during Photoshop?
Well, that's kind of a confusing thing. It's like where she was like trying to like delete an email while I was trying to save it, or delete a Photoshop file while I was trying to save it and work on it. Yeah, she did delete that one. It was a picture of a not very flattering picture of her I made in Photoshop, and she was actually trying to delete it. And she did delete it, but luckily, I guess in the process, I managed to save like a black and white copy of it, and I posted that. But
could you see the cursor actually moving?
oh yeah, there was a struggle. It was a struggle between me and her. She was moving. She was upstairs. Like I hear the floor creaking upstairs, and she was doing this. Okay, now. I don't have quite the flow I would like right now, because it's got to be like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I wanted to make this video all day long, but I'm only just now finding myself able to do it, so I'm not in the sharpest of frame of mind. But so yeah, so she was like not only reading my emails and stuff, but I seemed like everybody on the internet who knew my personal computer history and everything. Like people were like quoting back to me, things I wrote in my personal emails. I mean, it was really creepy. And so all these people who didn't know me, just like random people that I associated with on the internet, like all over the country, everybody knew everything I was doing. All my emails I was writing, and like my viewing habits and stuff like that, and so I strongly suspect that she must have been taking this stuff that she, the things I wrote, as well as like where all my various accounts were, because I noticed I was getting a lot of people contacting me on my various internet accounts, like bunches of people all at once, like almost like an organized thing. It was really creepy. Yeah. So I think she must have like I can only imagine she must have like downloaded and posted my personal emails and the various places where I had various internet accounts up on a website somewhere that everyone was looking at, because I don't understand how else everybody could have got this information. And so yeah, so anyway, so that's like sort of we just had a spill here, so I guess I'll wrap this up. But that's like kind of part 2. I'm just kind of gradually kind of like showing you how weird things are, and believe me, it gets even weirder than this. Okay, guys. Okay, so I'll be back. I'll get back with you and share the rest of the story later. Bye.